shit hit the fan in a way I wasn't expecting.
Me neither. Like, eventually, it had to come out that Trevor was working with the Department of Damage Control. I didn't know this is how that was going to happen.
Yeah, eventually. I just didn't expect it to be in the midnight hour of the second to last episode and not have it be because damage control made him do something. Like someone actually got it out of him against his will. And it wasn't them. I wasn't expecting that. And
I
it's
think
for
it's
the
a smart idea,
oh,
though.
oh, absolutely. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just not what I was expecting. Starting out, I have to mention something because it just made my day. Simon's dad says Simone like Gurren Lagann. I just had to say that just made my day.
I knew you'd like that.
I was like, hold on. He's pronouncing that the way I think he's pronouncing that. He's pronouncing it a French Creole way, like they do for some reason in this Japanese animation.
That was good.
Never understand why they say that way in Gurren. Why they just don't say Simon? I have no idea. But, the fact that they actually have an entire episode dedicated to hardcore, potentially damaging journalists. the pigeon kicking article of Joseph Clement. They're like, oh, yeah, he's probably off murdering pigeons. That's what it has to be. See, this is the point of where I could have saw 24 episodes with these two if this is what all their dialogue was like.
Mm-hmm.
It's such well-written dialogue. My God, I don't know who wrote the dialogue work for most of this, but they need to work in the MCU more.
So this episode was written by Kira Talese and Andrew Guest. And, yeah, no, the dialogue is really good.
God, it's so good.
My favorite thing about this is how awkward Simon and Trevor are around the crew because they're trying to make like a good impression.
A very good impression. To where they do very good at first, and then eventually when he's trying to make the fake impression of you, like, say people's names they like that. Like, people believe that bullshit? Now, I will be honest, in my regular life, even people I've known for a while, I do say their names quite regularly when I talk with people. A, because I believe it's polite, and B, I am god awful at remembering names.
Oh, so you have to just like say it to remember.
So a lot of times when I meet a person and they're new to me, be prepared to hear me say your name, and almost every time I address you because it is locking it into my brain. That's how it was when I went on mission trips and such, and we had to care for a lot of kids. Every time I was always like, Will, what's up, buddy? Will, where are we going? Come on, Will, what are we doing? It was great. But, I do like that they actually brought Vivian back. I thought she was just gone.
Yeah, no, it's good to see her again.
She was in one episode for 2 seconds, and then another episode for 2 seconds. And it's a really good turn of events that she broke up with him because she felt like Simon wouldn't let her in, making us all think that, oh, he's obviously not telling her everything. And no, she's like, no, I'm genuinely upset that you couldn't trust me. I knew this entire time.
Yeah, that was... I don't want to say this is turning into like a CW show where like everyone knows the hero's secret, but it's like
so far three people that aren't related to him know, and he's two of them he told.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like Barry Allen. By the end of the first season, half of his rogues gallery knew what his name was.
Still, I think it's a great. I think that was a great scene for both of them because, ironically, after they broke up, they both got what they wanted. Vivian got like a role in Severance,
Severance.
and then Simon is Wonder Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how he caught himself too, where he was bragging too much about the suit and stuff, being like being the little bit of a self-centered dickhead. And then he catches himself doing it directly at her. And I do like that because I will catch myself doing this. I don't know if that's why it's triggering me as much, or I should say, resonating with me as much. I'm very much I will have bad situations with people for personal shit, but it's someone that I know quite well. And I'll expect if someone asks them about me, they would say the most horrendous shit, even though deep down nothing's really that wrong. We just don't get along like we used to.
Hmm.
And the moment where he asked Friedman about his brother, and he's like, that relationship's complicated. It's like, what did he say? He's like, nothing but glowing things. He was absolutely great about you. After assuming this is a different tale of what he would have said because of the explosion in the kitchen. But that was really cool to see that even his brother wasn't a dick about him. Because he was like, you never get anything, this is never getting you anywhere. And as soon as he actually got somewhere, then he was like, no, my brother's like actually doing something. I should stop being a royal asshole. Like, this is actually going to get him somewhere. I do. They were laying it on a bit thick in the earlier episodes about how, man, getting to know your secret, somebody is like finding out about you, and then the very last thing that Vivian says is, I really hope you find someone you can truly trust.
Yeah.
They had to have one last person kick that old thing in the hang-bag. But I do love that Simon didn't want to do this shit with Friedman. And it was Trevor that was like, no, we should do this. And then Trevor's the one that ended up getting fucked and not Simon.
Yeah, I love the way that's written. It's like the show does a great job of subverting your expectations.
But not in a way that makes it seem like, oh, we're a good writer. No, it's like genuinely like, no, this is something that would happen.
Yeah, just a great example of like eventually your secrets will catch up to you. And now to Trevor's credit, he really was he really was forming a bond with Simon. It's kind of like that cliche where like, you know, like a spy is obviously on a mission, so he's forming an alliance with, you know, his target, but then they form like an actual relationship, and then things go wrong once the other shoe drops.
Oh, absolutely. And just the way that all caved out about her knowing about the arrest. Like, literally, his entire life is being consistently ruined because he was the Mandarin. And, like, I'm just wondering if that's going to come back to where he didn't do this stuff because he didn't want Simon's life to end up like his. I'm wondering if that conversation's actually going to happen.
I hope so, because
I feel like that's the end point of his character arc.
yeah, because his arc is all about redemption. Actually, both of them are.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them for screwing up their own lives in a way. But yeah, it's very well done. And then I don't know what the outcome's gonna be. He just blew. Then you have a great scene of Simon going down the back lot and then just blowing up one of the sets. So I don't know how that's gonna work, how that's gonna get explained in the next episode. Is just gonna start and they're gonna see him where he's arrested and he doesn't get the role of Wonder Man, but he becomes Wonder Man.
That'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see how this show ends.
Yeah, it's doing good of, like you said, subverting expectations, but not feeling like an uppity prick about it. Like some shows and movies, you could be like, aha, we did the thing you weren't expecting because we're clever. Like, no, this is like genuinely, oh, fuck. That wasn't what I was expecting, but I could see that happening kind of thing to where it doesn't feel like it's overdone. Which is very hard for some writers to do nowadays because I feel like they want to have the moment in a lot of writing now, which I don't like.
Yeah, like you could have the moment, but it just comes naturally.
Like, I don't mean to bag on this. I tell a lot of people that one of my favorite movies of all time is A Few Good Men. That entire movie is just a series of well-written dialogue scenes leading up to a confession. Like, almost nothing happens in that entire movie. Just them figuring out how to get him to confess, and then it finally happens, and it's the best thing ever, and it's just a guy admitting to something. And you're tied into the whole movie because all the dialogue and scenes are well written.
Oh, yeah.
But I understand not everyone's Aaron Sorkin, but, like, you can make an entire movie that doesn't have a ton of action scenes, doesn't have a bunch of this, a bunch of that. It's literally just people talking for an hour and a half leading up to a guy confessing something, and then that's it. It's very straightforward throughout the entire movie. It's just unbelievably well written. Which, it could kind of go to the same thing of, like, in video games, do you prefer to have really good gameplay, or do you want to have a good story? Can good gameplay make up for horrendous bad shit story? Can good action scenes make up for bad writing? It's all different way of how you want to do things. I don't know how they're gonna finish this because they are both not. So we didn't get the one question answered. Now that I'm thinking about it, he brings up the Wonder Man audition, and like, there's no way for them to. They still haven't admitted how he knew that Simon was into Wonder Man. Unless he just got fucking lucky to know that Simon didn't know Simon liked Wonder Man. Because Simon doesn't know this project exists. Which I have a feeling if you were an obsessed actor with this property, even if you thought you couldn't get within 5 miles of it, you would know this was happening.
I hope they explain that because, like, the only explanation I can think of is Trevor just happens to be a big fan of Von Kovac, and that was like how he found out, but that still doesn't really explain.
How do you know this secret about Simon's childhood that he's super into Wonder Man because of his dad?
Yeah, they have to explain that.
Unless they had him bugged or they say something, or like, I gotta wonder if at one of the last questions or last things they ask, they probably won't, but I'm imagining the scene in my head where he's just like, how'd you know I was into Wonder Man? Where like they work out their problems and he's like, one thing's not clicking. How'd you know I liked Wonder Man? He's like, I didn't. I got lucky. Or it's going to be like, who doesn't like Wonder Man? Or something. I don't know. That's the one hanging thread here. How the fuck did you know Simon? No, he obviously doesn't talk to his family that much. He has no friends. How did you know he liked Wonder Man?
Because he is Wonder Man.
Because plot demands it. I'm going to steal a bit from Super Best Friends Play. Hey, what's that over there? Is that the script? Oh god! All right, you got anything else?
I'm good. This show is great.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I am so looking forward to the finale.
As am I. All right, Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You guys can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube at Renegade Pop Culture or Organized Zero.
Yeah.
Find us on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. If you're into cosplaying, conventions, and the like, you can also find me at my Instagram over on Organoid Zero. Until next time, we will see you all later. Bye.
Peace.